The PoPolitickin Show is brought to you by Audible. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, Audible is great for any continuous learner wanting to grow and expand their knowledge and insight. Go to www.audibletrial.com/POAudio and get an audiobook of your choice free with a 30-day trial. After the trial, your paid membership will begin at $14.95 per month. With your membership, you will receive 1 credit every month, good for an audiobook on Audible. Cancel before your trial ends and you will not be charged. So go to www.audibletrial.com/POAudio and download a free book by Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, Damon John, and more. Always remember that knowledge is power.
PoPolitickin.com.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Nick Weaver, and I am here with Poe, and we are going to start politicking.
Dodge flat line from the skyline. Nighttime, forever the silent. Silent, squeaky windshield wipe, and it said, give it your heart, but never quite like this. I tried to listen to the guidance. I tried to switch to the vision I could ride with. I never been driven by the driver. Uber ain't never get a visit to my father. Progress, my whole resume like a big old press play. Got older and got less tolerant. Got much more on my shoulders, and I ain't even get no time to acknowledge it. Hair follicle stress. Sweat, never let my molecules rest. Air of caution, they talking fat lies from the lip like a collagen inject.
Press play, my whole resume out there on the internet, street of the day. You know what they say, let it bleed on the page every single day. By any means entertaining. I don't really think I'm awake to see what else intervenes in the way. I don't really think they ever gonna see me when I get the speeding on the streets going out.
You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now.
Soul is not for sale. The road is on my wheels. I told you I could feel everything, and with the motive I could kill. Never sold for popular appealing. Never went slow so I could just still breathe. Long enough to release, but believe me, I'd explode in my fields deep. That jungle remains concrete. Young guns, they remain on beat. Mobb Deep through the midnight while they all sleep. I don't really wanna speak. Basketball in the trunk, old ass sneaks. Posted up at 2 a.m. trying to shoot like the homie Glenn Rice with the 3. I'm just letting it release.
Release. Get it any way you have to.
I'm just letting it release.
Release. This is every time that they ask.
I'm just letting it release.
Release. Checkmate, move with the past.
I'm just letting it release.
Release. Believe me. You see me when I crash.
You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now. You wanna roll me, but you can't add a soul now.
Welcome back to PoPolitickin, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts. I'm now politicking my homie Nick Weaver. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let us know your hometown, where you're from.
I'm from Seattle.
All right, cool. So how did you get involved with music? How long have you been involved with music?
Oh, boy, forever. I grew up listening to everything under the sun. My parents listened to a lot of different music. My big brother, Russ, listened to all kinds of old school hip-hop. He loved West Coast hip-hop. So when I was a little kid, he would always, give me rides and stuff, and we would just be listening to that. And so one thing turned to another, and I just kept going down the rabbit hole with it as I got older. And, when I was in junior high and high school, I was kind of just doing little mixtapes, and I would burn them on a CDR, and go around school and sling them to people, and just never could shake that bug. So I've been doing it ever since.
Took me back right there with the CDR. I remember you get the CDRW, them shits can't burn. Then you got CDRW, shit don't burn. Shit.
I know, man. Well, it's a trip now too, because all these. I'm looking at this computer I'm on right now. It doesn't even have a damn CD drive.
And I remember, a few years ago, LimeWire was the shit. Now LimeWire is like nothing no more. But back in the day, like LimeWire,
right?
All that music, that was the shit.
Yep.
All right. So, who's who's your top 5 rappers? Who you like? You could do current.
Top 5 rappers current. Let's see. I would say right now I'd put Kendrick at the very top, and I put J. Cole right there with him. I actually got to see J. Cole not too long ago when he was in Seattle, and it was like it kind of like cemented how great he is to me. Like it was probably one of the best performances I've ever seen. I've always been. Growing up, I think Eminem was like one of my biggest influences, so I still have to put Eminem up there. I love Jay-Z. I worshiped Jay-Z growing up. I still love Jay-Z's music. I really dug 444, and I mean, I'm gonna round it out with Nas. I would love to see what Nas's new project is like. I keep hearing little rumors about it. I'd love to hear something new from him. Okay. And I'm gonna put Outkast right there. I know it's 5, but I gotta have Outkast there because I love Outkast.
All right, and describe your style as an artist.
Yeah, I'd say my style is I try and put a lot of honesty. I get a lot of credit for having honest music that is real and real to my life, and like I said, Eminem was such a big influence. I try and put a lot of lyricism and thought into it while still keeping it engaging for people and still keeping it, an entertaining listen. Okay.
And what are some of your current projects you're working on?
So actually, just next week, my new EP is coming out. Roll, the song that you guys featured, is on there. It's a 5-track EP. I produced a couple of the tracks. A local producer named Sendai Mike produced one of them. My good friend Kevin Boris produced one of them with me. And then actually a 2-man production group in New York called Memba. They're actually the ones that produced Roll. So it's a nice mix of different sounds. It's got a lot of interesting pieces to it. There's a lot of singing on it, which is a first for me. So I'm really, really excited to finally get this record out.
Cool. And where can you check out all your music?
You can find it all. If you're a SoundClouder, you can find it at soundcloud.com/WeaverFM. If you just want to go and find me in general, it's thenickweaver.com. I have all my social media and music media links right there. If you search Nick Weaver in Spotify or iTunes, it'll come up. And it'll be on all those platforms. Bandcamp as well, YouTube. Wherever you want to go listen, it's there.
What would you say the current goals for your career are right now?
Current goals, just more recognition and building the fan base out. And personally, for me, I've had a ton of fun with the singing and melody and incorporating a lot of different types of music into the hip hop that I make. And so I really want to continue to build on that because it really makes me excited. I totally geek out about the process, and I think that really reflects. And when listeners hear it, Roll's a great example. I had so much fun writing that song and singing on it, and working with that beat that Memba produced, and it's gotten a lot of love lately. So just continuing with that process, I think I've been doing it for a while, and you ebb and flow with where you're at creatively. It's just how life goes. And so keeping that spark consistent, I think is the key for me.
And then where do you see your career 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would like to have a solid national U.S. fan base And I think that we're making good strides towards that every year. We're doing a great job locally in Seattle. I just played Capitol Hill Block Party. That's one of Seattle's biggest festivals for music. That was a big step for me. And so continuing to, have, you always got to have your backyard. So I think in 5 years, I'd like to be, a relatively mainstay name in Seattle, but also, be able to tour not only regionally, but all over the country and have a consistent fan base there.
And then describe a solid fan base, like the certain number, or what is that?
No, I just mean like, if you go into other major cities and any major city, and you could put people in the venue.
Yeah, I'm saying, so is that like a certain number? I'm just saying for any other artist listening, is that like, well, you need 1,000 artists, or you need 2,000?
Oh yeah, no, I'd say like, if there's anywhere from like a 400 person venue or up, if you could fill that out on any given night, not just a weekend in another major city, then you're doing pretty damn good.
I would say, so how do people, a lot of artists now, because a lot of artists are like, they have their stuff online, they might have a following online, so how do you make the transition from just having your music online to actually get booking shows and booking gigs? How they do that?
Yeah, so one thing that I'm doing, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I actually have a really, really big following in Germany, and my German fans are totally amazing and super, super crazy supportive, and I get a lot of love there. So we are trying to put together a tour, and the great thing about a lot of the music these days on Spotify specifically, and a lot of the media out there, is you can see where your fans are, right? You can see where they're coming from. And even with like Instagram or Twitter, like
the demographics and stuff.
Yeah, and so if you just connect, and it's really important, like, where I'm at, like I'm just a small indie artist, so it's like you got to connect with every single fan. And if you like, I just had a person hit me up like a couple weeks ago. They found my song on Spotify. He lives in Hawaii. I hit him up. I said, "Hey man, thank you so much." And we created a dialogue and interaction, and now we have a relationship. And it's really, I think, when you're at this level, it's really important to just connect with every single person and get them to understand that you're really about connecting with the fans, because then that translates, right? They go, "Man, I found this rapper. I tweeted at him. He hit me right back. You should check him out." And then next thing you know, you got one person listening in Hawaii, then you got 5, and then it keeps going from there,
I said, how did you build that German fan base?
The German fan base was back in 2013, I had a song of mine called Work, and it was featured in Super Street Magazine, which is one of the biggest publications for motor vehicles, motorcycles, sports cars, all that stuff. And it was actually like a drifting video, and that video just blew up on the internet in like a day, and it was just flooded with thousands of comments and tons of people asking about the song. One thing leads to another. A handful of German YouTubers who have YouTube channels asked if they could use it, and their channels like skyrocketed, and they had a ton of fans. So I got a lot of exposure through that, and a lot of people discovering my music.
All right, so the next question, is social media important to you?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm by nature, I'm a very private person, I think, and so I had to kind of get over that romantic idea of like, I'm gonna like separate my life and my music, and because it's like, if you really are committed to the music, then you really have to be about social media. It is your only way to get through to the fans. Honestly, it's the only way that they know what you're doing, what's coming up next, when you're going to be in towns, when you're going to be in Germany, when your shows are, So yeah, it's the lifeblood, man.
So what's your favorite platform to use?
I like Twitter a lot, just because it feels easiest to me. And I don't I don't have a ton of followers on Twitter, like 770 something, but I have great interaction with them. And if I tweet something personal or tweet something about the music, I seem to get a lot of responses and people asking me maybe further questions. And also I still really love Instagram for that too, because it's just visual, it's instantaneous, and it's a great tool. I do love Facebook. I don't use it quite as much as I used to, just because of the ad, the ad boosting prices and whatnot to really get through to your core audience. But, it's got 2 billion users. It's a super, super powerful tool. But Twitter and Instagram are my favorite.
And what are some of your interesting hobbies outside of music?
I'm a big sports guy. I pretty much love every sport. I'm Seattle, so I love the Seahawks. I grew up loving Husky football, Washington Huskies, and so I'm so hyped because we finally, it's been like 10 years. We sucked. And, I came from the Don James era where they were awesome and they were just kicking ass. And so finally we've gotten to a point where we're good again with Chris Peterson as the coach, and I'm super hyped for this year. I love basketball, RIP Seattle Supersonics. We don't have them anymore, so I adopted the Boston Celtics as my team, which is weird being a guy from Seattle liking Boston, but, got to do what you got to do. And outside of sports, I do a lot of I like a lot of I live in the Northwest, so I love outdoor stuff, hiking, camping. Right now is the best because the weather's so great, and doing a lot of swimming and whatnot when I can.
And what advice would you give to a new artist?
Honestly, the advice is just going back to what I said before. Like, every fan, every opportunity is a valuable opportunity. Like, if it's a person who has 1 follower, if it's a person with 10,000 followers, like, if they are fucking with your music, then you should absolutely be totally grateful and just and seize that opportunity to thank them and connect with them. Because think about today, right? Like, how it is, and you're in the industry of journalism online. Like, content just pours over, right? And 48 hours later, it's all been refreshed, and we don't even remember what we saw 2 days ago. So if someone gives you that time, 3 to 5 minutes to listen to your song, like, you're lucky, right? You're killing it.
What's up?
Yeah.
And then I want you to share us a life hack. So something that you use in your life that people might not know about. Life hack.
Life hack. Let's see. All right, here's one. I'm kind of getting better about health stuff these days, and I've been doing this quite a bit. Everyone's always, and no matter you're a musician or you're working a construction job or you're sitting at the office, you work constantly. You're drinking coffee. You might not be eating great. One thing that I'm doing, and believe me, this is not a product plug, but I've been drinking these Noon tablets. It's NUUN. And they're like hydration tablets without the sugar or artificial anything in them. And, you can drink like a bottle of water and just throw it in there, and you get super hydrated. I've been getting a lot of good energy from that. That's one small life hack that I've got.
So what's in it?
It's like, what is in it? Like,
that sounds
it's
weird.
It's got like electrolytes,
okay.
And it's like the same stuff that's in the Gatorade, the electrolytes, the potassium, all that stuff, but it just doesn't have any sort of sugar. And they come in all various flavors: tangerine, lemon, lime. I literally sound like I'm pushing a product right now.
Yeah, you better be getting some affiliate marketing money.
I mean, you know what? They should, because they are a Seattle-based company, so maybe I need to go send them an email right now.
All right. And then what would you like to say to your fans and everybody that's been supporting your career so far?
From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Where I'm at in my career right now, it's taken an immense amount of work, but it would never, even with all that work, right? Like, it would never be anything without all of that support. And that goes to all of my German fans. That goes to everyone in Seattle that's been helping me out, all the local people that are in the scene that have, put my name in the hat. Just an immense thank you. It's super, super humbling. And like I said before, like, I can't stress enough that, especially in these times, I have people that are messing with the music like that. It's incredibly humbling. And I mean, while I'm here, I'd like to shout out my good friends Kelly McDermott, Sean Russell, Quinn Killick, Ryan Scott, Joey Flynn, those are all people that have really helped me with my art in one way or another, and I owe you guys immensely.
All right, man. I want to say thanks for coming through politicking with me.
I appreciate it, man. It was very nice meeting you in person.
Yeah, no doubt. You want to talk about your social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Twitter at the Nick Weaver. I'm on Facebook at fb.com/NickWeaver206. And if you want to find out anything else, you can go to thenickweaver.com.
PoPolitickin.com.
Thanks for listening to PoPolitickin.com, a self-help meets hip-hop brand. If you are an artist or business owner wanting to be featured on PoPolitickin.com, contact us at PoPolitickin@gmail.com. That's PoPolitickin@gmail.com. Or text 760-717-5803. If you're a listener that enjoys the show and wants to support, you can donate to PoPolitickin.com via PayPal.com. Please send donations to PoPolitickin@gmail.com. Any amount will be helpful in continuing to create quality content and shows. As always, check out PoPolitickin.com for past episodes. Make sure you subscribe to PoPolitickin on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play.